people. I had a blast. 671 million people around the globe watched the game, 26 million in the United States. We experienced a session with full of calls, random calls, penalties, tears, controversy, the famous golazos, and even a surreal fight. And in the middle of all of this, it just dawned on me, wow, soccer. I can finally have a sport that I understand a little bit and I can use for analogies when discussing business. And that's what we're going to do now. Anybody play soccer? Oh, at least one person. Don't worry, if you didn't play, if you didn't understand anything, that's okay. We're just going to talk about the spirit of the team. And we're going to try to learn lessons about how to be a good team by learning from the best soccer teams during the World Cup. First, the U.S. team. Anybody saw their games? Oh, awesome. The U.S. team over-delivered. And you know why they over-delivered? Some might say that the coach under-promised, but still, they play well as a single team. They were smooth. And you know what else? They were inventive. The people who ended up scoring the goals were the newbies, were unencumbered, who were brought in at the last minute and boom, score a goal. Together, with the great performance of Tim Howard, who set a record on saves, 16 saves, the best in any World Cup. They were inspired, they coalesced towards a goal, and they have a shot at becoming one of the future best in soccer. Let's go to another part of the country or the world. The Mexicans. The Mexicans, they were so funny. I don't know if you remember Miguel Herrera, Men in Blazers. This is literally two men in blazers talking online about football. Hilariously funny and incredibly famous. They named Miguel Herrera the happiest coach in the whole league. Why? Because Miguel would jump up and down and would go celebrating and would hug people. And when he was angry, you felt like hugging him. He felt every single movement of the players, and that related to the players. And the players were working very, very hard. And those were the 22 fastest little legs that I have seen running any time in my life. Yeah, stand on 1 second. One more point. Yes, is that okay?
Sure.
Could I touch you a little bit in your shoulders? You know what they did?
He's a great physical specimen.
The Mexican players were not too tall. They were playing against the Netherlands and the Germans. They would have physically propel themselves from their bodies in order to do a heading. You can see that now.
To do a heading?
To do a heading, to hit the ball with the head.
Oh.
And to do other plays. Because they could not reach the ball. They were No. That's my kind of team. That's this competitive spirit that I want in a team. Who's scrappy, who's agile, who thinks on their feet, and who doesn't give up easily. The Nigerians and the Algerians, nobody told those Hercules that they were playing against the best in the world. They play well. Superior physical strength, incredible athleticism, and they improved as the game progressed. There was some, I would say, optimism, confidence about themselves, maybe because the whole continent is in kind of renewal. But these brand new players, brand new teams, they look good. You could never underestimate the passion and zest of the newcomer. The Brazilians, I don't know if anybody didn't heard about the Brazilians. Okay, it could happen to the best of all of us. And it happened to them during the first 6 seconds, and they stayed there. They fell apart. Without Neymar, their famous player and another defender, they didn't know what to do. It was more like than watching 8th graders playing together. They forgot everything about soccer. They forgot what they do best. They were trying to get attention for penalties instead of concentrating on what they do best, which is the beautiful game. That artistic style of managing the goal, innovative plays, off the cuff movements, that flow that they used to have, they forgot it all. Worse, they look unprepared. Yes, they won against Cameroon, but you cannot be a leader and only prepare so-so. That is not enough. You have to be on top of your game. Don't rest on your laurels ever. Now let's talk about the Germans and what lessons do we learn from them? Oh, they won the World Cup against Argentina during overtime, during a penalty shootout. But it was their discipline, strategy, confidence, patience that got them there. But that last goal, that winning goal, you know who scored it? Mario Götze. He came just a few seconds before. He was a specialist. His only job was to do penalty shootouts. And in about 40 seconds since he got in the field, he scored the goal with his chest. The only goal, a chest goal, the winning goal. There is nothing best in a strategic planning than to prepare for the long haul battle and still have reserves. The Germans celebrated like crazy, so that's another lesson. Celebrate your wins. Every good team does. The hundreds of thousands took on the streets on that side of the world. On the other side of the world, hundreds of thousands mourn heavily. Learn from those experiences. I have to say one word about creativity. Anybody watch the games in Spanish? Did anybody watch the game in Spanish? One. Did you like it? Let me tell you, without those commentators and the vivid descriptions of the play, the players, the anecdotes, and the way they personify the game, the ball, the net, that was pure entertainment. That was hilarious, highly creative. The passion from the players, in which they connected with the game. The fans knew that Neymar was not going to give up because he didn't want to let down their team. That in spite of controversy, they could trust their players because they were going to do their best. In business, with your clients, with your customers, creativity will carry today. And building a one-on-one connection will get you trusting relationships. In general, the teams that fare well did a few things. First, they had a tough mental attitude in spite of setbacks. Second, they didn't allow too much margin for error, which is a euphemism to say they didn't make that many mistakes. Third, they played together, communicating almost telepathically with very little friction among each other. And they took personal responsibility, each one of them, for the team winning. In business, that's what we want to do. We want to have a team that takes personal responsibility for a team winning. Second, and this is probably the most important lesson that I want you to remember. Never, never lose sight of your own beautiful game.